this one make you right. Right on, right on. What about the relation all over creation? Yeah. Sometimes rain and sometimes shine. All the sorrow and trouble you gotta leave behind. Right on. What time is a great tribulation? Nation them a fight against nation. What time is a great tribulation? Chiwata bam bam in a big billion. Away from the DJ car ranking, baby. When we fling it on the roads and reality, and we say best thing in life for free. Bam bam diddle and diddly, best thing in life for free. Right on. Watch how we walk and watch how we talk.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning. You know the voice, you know the sound. James Williams, DJ Exclusive is in the building. Good morning, everybody. Make sure that you stay tuned. Like it or not, it's coming up next with the Queen, Rebecca Azar. Good morning, all. Roll call coming up next. Roll call coming up next.
And them the type of thing and them not cost no money. And me say best things in life for free. Bam bam diddle diddle, best things in life for free. All the bread up on the chicken sing is sweet and melody. And all the fishes and the Caribbean see them sing best things in life for free. And me say best things in life for free. From me, baby. And this by every day. You know better than I.
Good morning again, everybody. Make sure that you stay tuned. Like it or not, is getting ready to start momentarily here. But before we do, got to get through this roll call. What's going on to everybody in the chat, wherever you are streaming from, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you are, man. Good morning to you. Shout out to the YouTube family. Roller Dragon, what's going on? Moon Meat, Laser Sword, Nat A, The Nightingale. What have I just said? Six Dragon Daddy, what's going on? Lips of Marcy Tiger, good morning. Boondocks, good morning. Love you, Boondocks. Hey, mama, love you, mother. Chewy Craft, what's going on? Industrial Arts, what's going on, brother? Kareem Ransom, as Rebecca would say. Let me see. Bluebird on my shoulder, good morning to you. Tyler Hackner. Peabody ND, I think I got that right. Good morning to you. I am butchering this morning. Yes, I am. Good morning to everybody. Can't forget about my family over at Twitch. And y'all give me a second. I'll be able to see y'all momentarily. And before that, though, 5 ants moved into another apartment with another 5 ants. Now there are 10 ants living together. 10 ants. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. The Queen is in the building. Carly Wynn, good morning to you. And we will be starting momentarily. Alicia, good morning, Alicia. Y'all leave me alone. Y'all know I ain't got no sense, man. Shout out to the Twitch family. My chat hasn't started streaming yet, so you know it's tripping over on Twitch. Infinite content. There you go. I see you. All right, y'all. I hope y'all is ready to get the morning started. We got a good show for you today. Chock full of goodness and news. You don't want to miss it. Also, Sonny Wright, good morning. I overdosed on Viagra yesterday. Was the hardest day of my life. It was. Jason Goodcraft, good morning. Priscilla, good morning. Zozo Bob, good morning to you. Six Dragon Daddy said ropes. RS, good morning to y'all. All right, y'all know what time it is. Like it or not, it's about to go down as I get the song ready and queued up, man. Y'all stay tuned. You don't want to miss this morning. It's about to go down. Good morning, everybody. Hey, man, yeah, it's the summertime, right? Let's get it like or not. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Yeah. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going down.
Rebecca Zora's in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. She's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, dreaming, trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in stride.
I am your DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams.
Good hope, dad jokes, culture is politics. What's here right now is the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I ended up with the plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. Tuesday to Thursday, you know how we do. Let's go. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going down.
Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. Hey man, let's start this damn show.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Your focus is off. My lighting is off. Let me
focus on.
Right here. Let's get this. There we go. Because I was
now I look out of focus.
Get it the other way. When you move your hands,
I was already good.
I don't know. Maybe it's my eyes. But check.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
And your mic not plugged in either.
Oh, my mic is actually plugged. Okay.
I'm about to say it sounds like you talking in the like you in the studio without the soundproofing. It's giving echo.
Good morning, guys. It's so dark behind me because it is nasty outside here in Georgia.
I love it too. Ooh, I love it. I've been waiting for rain for like 5 years.
Really? 5 years. Thank you. Like who in the Bible was waiting for rain? Well, who was the drought? I don't know who that was. Look, I need to go. All our church scholars in the chat, let me know who was waiting for the rain.
That's being named. I ain't know nothing about that.
Right. Because I know something. Because there's a song that's built around it. What is it? I feel the rain. It's raining. Whatever. It's raining. Y'all don't know that one?
Is that Tasha Cobbs?
I think she probably remixed it. I could be making this totally up.
Because it sounds like a good song. I'm like, okay, I like when Rebecca sing.
I could be totally making this up. There are so many songs about rain in the church. Anywho,
hey, don't say
morning,
that then, because we can go ahead, copyright that, get it put out there. You know, I love making music. So Rebecca, we
no,
make
that song that I'm singing is actually a real song. And if I'm not mistaken, is it PJ Morton's daddy?
Oh, okay.
I don't really know. And it might or may not be Bishop Paul Morton. I don't know.
Morton,
but
yeah.
there was a man in the Bible who describes a time where they was waiting for rain for 40 days and 40 nights because it was a big old drought. Elijah?
Yeah, thank you, Boondocks. Elijah. I knew that was coming.
That's my godson's name. But yes, okay, great. Elijah. I knew it was one of them kings and queens and other people in the Bible. It was. So Elijah was waiting for rain. Okay, so yeah, good morning, guys. Good morning, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it, child. We'll get started and go off on a whole tangent before we say anything.
True. It's true. And I just, it's really the weather that actually is. I woke up this morning and I'm like, let me just play some music. But you can't just play with the weather, you can't just play any kind of music. You like in the heat, when it's totally hot. We're talking the summer's coming gun blazing. You can't play slow jams. It doesn't work like that. You're gonna be driving in your car, pissed off. See, yeah, right. Keep going and go. Let me see. Put your hand down. Nope. Keep going that way. But as I tell my story, there we go. As Bubba starts to focus, there we go. As Bubba focuses his camera.
And keep talking, because I got to change my glasses out, because this glare is killing me. I'm sorry.
It's so much happening on this morning. Go ahead and do that, and I'll start the story. But yes, listening to music. I was going to say this is giving drabby outside. If you guys can see behind me, it's just giving really like sad. It's really rainy looking. It's not even giving fall vibes. It's just giving me like it's a storm coming, a storm brewing. But anywho, it's me. I'm with you guys this morning. There's a lot that we're going to cover this morning. But before we get to any other story, I wanted to start with the update for the story that we had spoke about yesterday with Benjamin here, and that's the story of 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan, who was gunned down in Gulfport, murdered by police officers in Gulfport, Mississippi. So the police shooting of Jaheim McMillan in Gulfport has left the community shattered and wanting answers. An eyewitness who we saw yesterday this is another one who wishes to remain anonymous, alleges McMillan had his hands up. Many people did allege that as well, many eyewitnesses, and was scared out of his mind when he was shot by the police officers. The officers claim that weapons were recovered from the scene, yet several bystanders confirm that McMillan was unarmed at the time of the shooting. The story has gone from terrifying to a nightmare, as new footage has been released of Jaheim's mother being forced off of the premises of the hospital Jaheim was admitted to. The cops are shown being rude to McMillan's mother, telling her that he was dead and when he was not, and all around harassment of Jaheim's mother and cousin. Jaheim's cousin claims the hospital pulled the plug without the permission of Jaheim's mother and would not allow her extra time to spend with her son. Let's take a look at that.
Well, don't put me in a bad situation. I ain't trying to put you in a bad situation, sure. What I'm saying is that if my son had been there, and they told us only 2 people could go in at a time. So that's why people are going back and forth.
That's when he was a patient.
He's still one. He's still here. He's still here.
Man, he's tested. I'm sorry.
Okay, now I need to go to that. We need to get somebody.
No. This time we already have to
They
go.
say he passed away. Who's that at? This man. They can take him back.
They not let her back there and shoot her mama.
Y'all didn't have to leave.
She don't want to get to stay here with him?
No, nobody's passed away.
At least.
Passed away?
I'm not a doctor, okay? I don't know. From what I was told.
But you said
But why would you say that if he did?
Well, I don't want to make that mistake.
He's not passed away.
Yeah, you did that, sir.
They said 2 people can go back
we get to say our goodbyes right now.
Ooh. And there are, go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah, watching this is very heartbreaking. But as this story continues to develop, I know we have 2 other videos um, relating to this. But as the story continues to develop, I mean, we've heard about he say she say all over the place. It's always been that way. But the officers, the department, the head of the police officers, in a press release, of course, stated that only the account of the police officer who murdered Jaheim, that he was in fact with a gun and the other people in the car had a gun. Okay, so the story changes up so many times. But to know that the story changes so much, and even the video of the mother coming out, um, her not being able to see her son with all of the stories that are coming out, and then seeing this footage, what are we to believe, even though we see how they treated his mom as she was trying to go see him? The officers are saying his murder was warranted because he had a gun. Yet they have not shown any footage whatsoever. And in the press conference with the officers, they stated that there is body cam footage that will be coming out. But yet they're bringing out a statement saying that the footage will coincide with their story. As Benjamin Dixon said yesterday, if that were to be true, and I can agree with this, if that were to be true, wouldn't you think the police officers would have already shown that footage?
Mm-hmm.
And so people,
my thing is when they say those things like the body cam footage will be released at a later time or whatever, to me, the way I feel is that they're editing these videos before they release them out. Of course, they do some editing of it, but they're doing more editing to make it look like Jaheim is going to be the aggressor, or one that make it seem like he deserved what happened. And I hate that. If just release the raw, uncut footage, nothing else.
Yeah. And so I think what we're seeing here is what we see most times. But as Ben said as well, because the officers already got ahead of it, what people see and hear is what the police officers dropped that information first. And they'll say, well, the police officers stated, and that's because we're supposed to put our trust in, we're expected to put our trust in the police officers and their word, because they are supposed to protect and serve us, tell the truth, not lie on any documents or any forms. And, it's almost as if when the story you see, it's heartbreaking that the mother couldn't even go see her child was being stopped by a police officer in the front, security in the front. And it's almost as if they said, do not allow her to go in there because it's going to create a story. And what's more important than a mother going to see her child who is in his last moments of life due to the police officers? The police officers, and how they are seen. And so that's more important because they don't want to start any confrontation. They don't want to start another George Floyd. They don't want to start those things. They don't want to start riots, and they don't want us to get to the head of it. And I'm really frustrated because that mother, just to see her really just wanting to see her son, and she's in shock, like, this man is really not allowing me to go see my son. Not allowing me to go see my son.
And it's 2 other videos where it goes on further, and of course the cop just leaves, goes back in the hospital, so well, he's dead, and just walks back in the hospital. Later on in the video, he comes back out and it's just like, well, one of the other officers was there, and they were just like, it's just a misunderstanding, I'm sure there's nothing wrong, or he didn't mean to say that. And of course the officer comes back out again and said, I didn't say he was dead, I said he was brain dead. I'm like, now you're trying to fix yourself, but we got you on video telling this man's mother that her son is dead. You didn't say brain dead, you straight up said dead. And you're not a doctor, you're not even supposed to deliver that news, but you went on and did it anyway.
And here's my problem with this whole story as it continues to develop. I think that when I went on Instagram to post a story to our page, the hashtag isn't even something you can find or click on Instagram, at least at that time yesterday. And with the story, as much as it developed and where it was and where we were with it, I think that we were at enough time, like at a space where we could actually click on a hashtag on that space and see what is associated with it. But I believe that they want it to be limited as to who can see it. They want it to be limited as to what, we're not seeing the story blasted throughout mainstream media.
Right.
We're not seeing it actually, like, this is not something that we're really hearing about so much. And they want it to die down. And they know that at some point it will, but I think it's our duty to highlight and hold in the accountability portion of this. Officers with the eyewitnesses stating that, so many eyewitnesses at that, this is more than like 3, 4. They're stating that, and their stories are coinciding. The only person that is different is the officers. Do you think that random people are gonna come together, including a white woman, are gonna come together to say the same story? They don't even know each other. They're gonna come together to say the same story, and the only person's story that's different is the officers. And the officer did not drop, and the officer's department did not drop. The police department did not drop any footage that coincided with that story when they can. We have body cam footage in place. We have the cameras that are in the vehicle in place. And if you don't want to utilize that, go ahead and tap into the cameras at the Family Dollar. So with all of that, you guys had the nerve to come out with the press conference. Let's take a look at what the police officers said at the press conference.
Turned himself in about an hour ago.
Oh, well, pause. Wrong press conference.
Okay.
This press conference is actually for Eric Cantu. That was the 15-year-old, not 15-year-old. That was the other teenager that was shot in San Antonio.
Okay, so and that's a separate story. However, with the since we don't have the press conference for the officer in this case, it's the same thing. They're looking, they're copping out, and that's pretty much it. But the separate story that you did drop of the press conference for Eric Cantu, that came out yesterday as well. The officers who were stating that they basically fired the officer that for the teenager who was in the McDonald's parking lot in California. And his name is Eric Cantu. He was a police officer, walked to his vehicle as he was sitting down and startled him. He was literally in a parking space eating his food he bought from McDonald's, and the officer proceeded to shoot at him. When the young man was like, "What are you doing?" and wanted to get away, like, what's happening, was afraid, and the officer shot him, injured him, and now has since been fired. Let's take a look. And this is also a separate case, but here is what we're talking about, where police officers are have an overuse, an abuse and overuse of force. Let's take a look.
We walked a warrant for him. I had met with homicide during the week on several different occasions, and when we got to the point where we needed to be, I instructed that a warrant be walked for him for 2 counts of aggravated assault by a public official. He didn't want is a felony 1. So he is in custody right now, and this is still an open case. So there are certain things that I'm not going to say.
So, yeah, with this, a lot of people are saying, there's accountability here, and which is the difference in the case with McMillan. This officer was fired and now facing jail time, I believe, for his, just him shooting at a little teenager. There was really no reason. We're still not hearing a reason as to why he walked up to this vehicle with this teenager in the car, Eric Cantu, in California at a
10
McDonald's.
shots. Yeah, 10 shots
to the car.
Five were the initial when he had his door open, and 5 as he drove away. That's And honestly, in my opinion, that should have been attempted damn murder. You did doing aggravated assault. This boy is still in the hospital on life support. So now, if he happens, Lord forbids that he passes away, then the charges need to go ahead change to murder, manslaughter. I don't care. These charges need to be upgraded. Aggravated assault. I feel like they just did that to appease everybody everything that's going on. That's the only reason they did that. Because you can even say the sheriff or the cop, whatever he was, didn't even want to say aggravated assault. He paused a minute before he said it. Because that's bullshit. It's straight up bullshit.
Yeah, and it's a lot for people to really handle as far as like watching. That's why we did not play the video.
Yes.
Because in this particular video, you actually see and hear the shots, and you see that baby driving off, and he was 17 years old. And so there are no improvements to his condition as of right now. From a 17-year-old boy in San Antonio, just sitting at a McDonald's, eating his food. Here we have body cam footage. That baby is just eating. The cop opens his door. And because he doesn't like the way the 17-year-old Eric Cantu receives him, he shoots him. And so, anywho, the cop's name is Officer James Burnand, and he was responding to the McDonald's for an unrelated disturbance call. So, and this is a quote from the department's training commander for the police department, Captain Alyssa Campos, and she said, as the officers attempted to gather information from witnesses, he noticed a vehicle that had evaded him the day before. Y'all, hold on. Listen to me and listen to the statement. As the officer attempted to gather information from witnesses, he noticed a vehicle that had evaded him the day before as the officer attempted a stop because the registered license plate did not match the actual vehicle. So you telling me the officer said, I'm here for a disturbance call, but that car looks like the vehicle that I tried to stop yesterday that got away from me, that I assumed that wasn't registered to the tag, without really any concrete information, and it got away from me. I'm not gonna let the car get away from me now. Opens the door, and the little kid is like looking like, who the hell are you? And ends up dying. Now, he was still on his probationary period.
The police
during the shooting, he was still on his probationary period, and he was since fired. Of course, the officers department had to again do an extreme firing with him.
And they moved very quickly with that one.
And so, they terminated him, and they said an investigation is underway. But here's where I say, and I know I've talked about this on the show a few times. With these kind of cases, we understand that when we say defund the police, I'm always going to run it back. When we say defund the police, it definitely circles back to y'all not even using your funds to train these officers correctly. You're not making any. How do you know that this officer is mentally prepared? How do you know this officer is actually skilled to do the job? Still under a probationary period, you allow this officer to go alone to a disturbance call and be in his feelings. How are we mentally preparing these officers to get out there so that they can take their mental and their personal experiences and not put that out there because you were upset for what you thought was the vehicle.
And to add fuel to the fire, not only that, Rebecca, before you finish, he's also I don't know if he's ex-military, but he's military as well. So this is why they put his ass out there. But he's military, he know everything. we don't know psychologically what this man might have going on. Maybe some PTSD, maybe some other stuff that is going on, and y'all put this man out here on the street by his damn self, and he's still in the probationary period. That to me says a lot about your training and everything that you're doing. Defund the police. That's why we say that.
Yeah, pretty much. And so we're just going to continue to see how this plays out. Although there is accountability for the officer here in this case, more accountability that we're seeing than the officer in the McMillan case. And so we have a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. The 15-year-old boy, unfortunately, has passed. We have a 17-year-old boy who is fighting for his life. And these are the cases where we're looking at, and it's just, we're looking at officers who can get away with these things.
Right.
We've seen, and the reason why we're upset and we're leaving this in the news cycle, our news cycle at least, is because we've seen too many times officers are able to get off. We've seen this while it's been big in the media. We've seen it as it's been just local stories that never made its way into a hashtag for that person that passed away, was murdered by police officers. So this abuse of force, and we need to really be mindful of it. There's so much that goes into under the umbrella of defunding the police, and these are the type of stories that we have to continue to cover, to continue to highlight that. And if we want the protection, it has to feel like protection for everybody. Not a target, not Black folks being targets. It just makes no sense. Black and brown folks being targets for no reason, but the officer was upset.
Right. And do us a favor, y'all share the story. Let's get it out there, because it's not enough mainstream media covering it. The clips that I pulled were from Shade Room, so that lets me know it's gaining traction now. But of course, Shade Room is a Black media social media. So let's spread the story around. Let's get some traction on this, because more people need to know what's going on. Let's apply the pressure. We know Ben is on the way down there, but let's do our part as well too.
So justice for Jaheim McMillan and Eric Cantu. So Kanye West, we're gonna definitely move it over there. Kanye West believes white lives matter. From the last two stories that we discussed, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? That's so Kanye West, and we're just gonna, because there's so much that goes on with this. But on Monday of last week, Kanye West and Candace Owens wore shirts emblazoned with the words "White Lives Matter" at the Yeezy Season 9 presentation in Paris. It was clear that it definitely was disrespect to the Black Lives Matter movement, which has been measured as the largest racial justice movement in history. Black models can be seen walking the runway wearing the same slogan on their t-shirt that says "White Lives Matter." All lives matter and white lives matter. And that has long served as a violent rhetoric to the Black Lives Matter movement, used by white supremacists and hate groups, including the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. And Kanye then went on Tucker Carlson's show, of all places, to explain the decision. I don't know if you do have that, Josh. I don't know if you do have that picture of Candace Owens and Kanye West. But while we watch this particular clip of Tucker Carlson and Kanye, if you can grab that one of Candace Owens so that people can see what the outfit was looking like. But let's take a look at Kanye speaking to Tucker Carlson on Just BS.
Child.
So the White Lives Matter t-shirt you brought out at Paris Fashion Week. Yeah. Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. Like as if you ask like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin, she was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles. You know, my dad is an educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today. He said, "White lives matter, ha, 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 ha." And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, "Dad, why do you think it was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious.
Sometimes we ain't got nothing to say. You just can't say nothing at all, child.
Silence for Yeezy, Kanye. I used to say I miss the old Kanye. I miss
so
the
disgusting.
old Kanye. I don't anymore. I don't
at all, bro.
And here's why. Here's a t-shirt right here for those of you guys who are wondering. This is Candace Owens, and you guys know Candace Owens to be not even going to go there, but she is a person who represents a lot of right-wing talking points. Although she's Black, she likes to cape for anti-Black rhetoric from Fox News and all the associating heads of talking heads for the right, including Donald Trump. So you have this, and then you have right next to him, and next to her is Kanye West in the White Lives Matter shirt. We're talking about in Paris, a European country with Black models walking the runway. He had Macklemore perform, I think, at the end of it. It was like one of these white rappers perform at the end of the didn't even choose. So here's the thing about White Lives Matter as we run through these clips before we get to the next clip. Here's the thing about White Lives Matter. The people who say it, you didn't even say all lives for real. You said white lives, and look at you. The people who say this, the people who say it, are people who want to denounce the fact that we're saying that Black Lives Matter. When we say Black Lives Matter, it's because of stories like Jaheim McMillan. It's because of stories of even brown people like Eric Cantu. It's because of stories of people in minority communities that are being shot down. We're talking about Eric Garner. We're talking about Breonna Taylor. We're going into this whole thing, and we're talking about how Black people our lives don't matter. We can get shot down in broad daylight on camera. On camera. We can get shot down in broad daylight on camera, or look at excessive force being utilized to take our life on camera. And you know what happens? Nothing. Most times, nothing happens. We can watch a boy being shot at just for being pulled over, not even getting an opportunity to actually have a conversation with the officer. We can watch a man in the passenger side of the vehicle reaching for his identification and being shot down in front of his girlfriend and daughter in the back seat, and her daughter in the back seat, watching the whole thing unfold. That little daughter having to console her mother, who didn't do a thing but was put into cuffs after watching her partner die in the front seat. A little 5-year-old baby girl having to console her mother in cuffs in the backseat of a squad car. Black lives didn't matter at all then. And today they still don't matter. And we know that because of our work environments. We know that because of what it takes us to get loans and things like that to get a home. We know that because of the 6 jobs it takes for us to seek resources, proper resources for our communities. We know this because we wouldn't still be saying the first Black to do X, Y, and Z. So when we say Black Lives Matter, it's because white lives we already know that matters. We already know here in America, especially, that it matters. It matters. It is the majority here. Those are people who don't have to fight when they go to a bank as much as a black person to get a loan for a house, no matter how great both credit scores may be. A white person is seen differently. This is the person that can go and get their home appraised for whatever it's really worth and above, where a black person does it and they give it to them as low as possible because they don't think your life matters. They don't think your intelligence matters. Is this where schools are put in places where they're just like, as long as the kids are going to the schools, we really don't need to give them much. They're going to have books from literally 50 years ago. They're not going to have any resources for their bathrooms or anything else because it's just little black kids. What do they need?
Right.
No security in those communities. And when the security does come, those cops are shooting down people instead of protecting. Black lives don't matter in America. They simply don't matter in America. We have yet to see any accountability, any justice for Breonna Taylor to this day. Although even the biggest black voice that we know, Oprah Winfrey, even put Breonna Taylor on the front of her magazine, which she is always, and Oprah is always on the front of her magazine. No matter how big it was in the media, and you're telling me there's still no accountability, no justice. No matter, you're telling me that Black lives don't matter when you put on this White Lives Matter t-shirt. Kanye West, you were the same person in 2008 that said George Bush doesn't care about black people. Never forget. Never forget. You did that. And now you're coming on to today only because you made that slavery comment with TMZ saying that slavery was a choice, and because Fox News ran with it and said, you know what did Kanye say that was wrong? And because they made you feel a place of comfort.
Yep.
You decided they saw the good in what you said. Now you decided to cap for white people. You get on the show, he's asking you questions, and all that intelligence and genius that we always stand behind when we're saying Kanye West is a genius, man, y'all not really hearing him. If you look at this clip that we just played and the clips that we will play, there was nonsense being said. There, like, what was he really talking about? We didn't get a reason for the White Lives Matter shirt. Your daddy was an ex-Black Panther. He might have been laughing at your ass.
So let's talk about the shirt for a minute. I would understand the sarcasm behind the shirt, and I could probably even laugh and say, okay, it's artistic. I see where the direction was going for the creator. But for the simple fact that Kanye West, Uncle Tom ass, and Candace Owens, Uncle Tom Meta ass, get their ass in this picture and take it together with wearing that, especially knowing their history. Nah, bro, you killed the whole thing. If whatever designer was trying to do, because we've all seen shirts like that where they put stupid stuff on the shirt and it's meant to be sarcastic, or you put it on the shirt, you put a line through it or something, whatever, cross it out. I can see that. A lot of creatives do that, especially when it comes to that fashion. So I can see the sarcasm in doing the shirt like that. But for the simple fact that Kanye and Candace Owens had the shirt on, dead. Okay. So all of that is completely dead. Because I've seen it a lot, especially coming up. They used to do it in the 70s with a lot of their stuff. So it's just crazy that they're doing it, and then his reason or meaning behind it and the examples he gives and just goes on these rants, bro, you're effing canceled, bro.
I don't think he'll be canceled. Like, he has this community, particularly.
It's going to be so many people that buy these goddamn shirts,
and that's what I'm saying, and that's why I can't agree with it being artistic. And I hear what you're saying, but when it's coming from because of Black Lives Matter, it's such a particular. And forget the people who are running the organization right now, because that's another conversation for another day. We're talking about the phrase and what it means. Black Lives Matter. Literally, it was born out of Trayvon Martin. It was born out of, like, we've watched so many people die at the hands of police officers, and it's not only police officers, it's people who take the form as if we just saw Ahmaud Arbery in his neighborhood running, and these people who are white people looked at him and said he didn't belong in a community that he lived in. Regular randoms who were former officers or had relationships with in that way with officers, felt like they could go into their community, see a Black person, and his life didn't matter. This is something that we've been from Rodney King. We have so many things that we can go. Slavery itself, child. Black lives never mattered in this country from history, from inception, from when they brought us here. So when he puts on a White Lives Matter shirt, and to know who was saying White Lives Matter before that, like before he even put the shirt on, there's nothing artistic about something that already is very dangerous to say. Charlottesville, North Carolina. Remember what happened when them people was rocking with them tiki torches in the name of Donald Trump a few years ago? White Lives Matter is what they were saying in the streets. When Eric Garner, when we were outside protesting, when people were in DC protesting, these white folks are walking around with White Lives Matter shirts, White Lives Matter banners, White Lives Matter across their trucks, and what was next to it? Confederate flags, KKK hats. This is what they were doing. They were going anywhere into Black communities and trashing stuff continuously. Emmett Till, America covered up his murder by letting white men in the community come and murder this little boy for an alleged story. Till this day has no justice. And his tombstone, they had to put bulletproof glass over it because it was getting vandalized by the white community because White Lives Matter. They chose not to put that old lady in jail because White Lives Matter. So there's nothing artistic about it. Since inception, when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean something behind it. When you say White Lives Matter, it's because you feel offended that we stated that stop shooting us, stop killing us, give us something to work with. That's what that means. So ain't nothing artistic about it. Kanye could catch these hands on sight, baby. Kanye can catch these damn hands on sight.
Because I'll wear the shirt. Because I can explain it. It's the irony behind it. It's ironic for a Black man wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. But like I said, you got Kanye and Candace in it, the main two, talking down on Black Lives Matter movement. Then at that point, it's no longer funny. It's not relevant. It's not anything. It's like now because y'all wear it, it's not irony anymore because y'all are like. It's dead. The whole thing is totally dead. Whatever they were trying to do and prove, because them two put it on, no.
There was nothing, but I feel like, and I guess I can't ever see like.
And the only reason, and let me explain that because I watch a lot of fashion shows. The Hype on HBO Max, awesome fashion show, and these are the kind of things that they were doing. So I get that part, but once you put them two people involved in it. You killed your whole brand.
I feel like I don't give a damn who's wearing it. White Lives Matter right now, and especially too soon. Nothing has happened with White Lives Matter. So even wearing it at any moment right now, because nothing has happened with Black Lives Matter. We haven't seen anything really pushing. They've actually started capitalizing on Black Lives Matter. And who's they? Outside of the Black folks start capitalizing on Black Lives Matter. So now to put White Lives Matter out there, I wish not even only a ER would. Baby, I wish to see somebody white, QHWHITE. I wish to see somebody white reround me with that.
With that
it's starting more confrontation because we are still feeling. We know when you're wearing that, what it means. We know when you're wearing that. And again, because it's such dangerous rhetoric, I can't see any art behind it right now. I can't because there's nothing that happened. You're literally saying that. Black lives. You ain't even wearing an All Lives Matter shirt, child. You're wearing a White Lives Matter in America, and then you're in Paris, where we know,
child,
that's a European country, baby. That's one of them countries that we know. Okay, you're out there, and you're supposed to be representing your Black brand, and you're letting them know in America, White Lives Matter, and here, White Lives Matter, and the artisticness you guys will accept, and people will. And I watch a lot of fashion shows, and I see the art in today's date, the artistry and things like that. I see where people can push the envelope and be able to explain it, but we can't explain something that we haven't even began to unpack yet or begin to protect, and that's Black Lives Matter. We can explain White Lives Mattering because we know that Christopher Columbus didn't explore or find anything, and yet he was the one that we, since we were little, was the one that we learned about and were able to praise for finding America. So this is what I'm saying. Right. White lives should always matter. But I don't know. Just play this next clip of Kanye West, and then we'll move forward, because we definitely just play the David and Goliath clip so y'all can see his crazy. Okay, see his crazy.
Crickets.
Yeah, if Josh is still here, they would have probably got up and walked away. Josh, are you there?
Josh?
Anywho, you guys, so we'll move forward because we ain't got time. We got just a couple of more minutes here. And so I know that you had a story, Bubba, outside of the Kanye one. There was a Maryland teacher a teacher from Maryland who was a substitute teacher, and she was removed for her tweets.
Child, yes. So a Maryland teacher has sparked outrage, and there should have been video with this. I hope they did get it. She sparked outrage among parents and the school district after her incendiary tweets were discovered. Bianca Robinson, a substitute teacher in Prince George's County Public Schools, was suspended from teaching at District Heights Elementary School, according to Fox 5. A problematic tweet was posted from her at mostly dash, and we're not going to say the rest of that, to the social media site on Thursday. Black women raising boys, please stop letting your sons pick up your female traits. I have the bitchiest boys in my class. I know y'all have some men around somewhere. This ish is getting ridiculous, Robinson wrote. So let's take a look at this video.
Josh. Okay. He says he doesn't have the video. Well, could you explain what was in that video?
Yeah, so in the story, it was the news story. Check in Slack. Y'all know that's why I like to put stuff at. It's in Slack. Once they were on the video, they went through a listing of tweets, and they were talking about how some of the parents and students, some of the parents were for what she said, but a lot of the teachers and a lot of the other parents of the actual class or whatnot were very upset. And due to that, yes, she was fired. They say suspended, but she was fired.
Water here. It was posted to Twitter last Thursday under the account @mostly_hated. It says, "Black women raising boys, please stop letting your sons pick up your female traits. I have an expletive boys in my class. I know you'll have some men around somewhere. This expletive is getting ridiculous." Now, this comment got some quick reactions when I showed it to some parents in person today.
It's not with that type of behavior.
Honestly, with a lot of the way teachers are, a lot of them do teach like they just don't say it.
She could have said, like, put them in meal mentoring programs, things like that. But for her to just come off and say something like that, it's just atrocious.
Now, online, a number of comments were defending Robinson, some essentially arguing she's a victim of cancel culture. Those upset with the substitute also flagged other questionable posts. Now, we can't see those posts for ourselves. Her account was listed as private this morning, but different messages screen grabbed by others appear to say kids need to get bullied. It goes on to say the no bullying thing is dumb. Another says these fifth graders never had a teacher from the hood I see. I will gather a child quickly and respectfully and still bring them to tears. A third appears to read, so when I look at my student who thinks it's cute being bad, I just wonder how long it's going to take for them to land in jail. Several other questionable posts were found on Facebook. Prince George's County Education Committee Chair Jolene Ivey used the words homophobic.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in this. Now, this is the substitute teacher who was actually, it's a substitute teacher, right? And you know, on your Twitter space, it's your Twitter space. We're gonna see a lot of things that we agree with and don't agree with. However, these are people who are going to be talking about, like, going to be over your kids, your children as they're going to school, and so their thoughts may, again, mentally can be the teacher's thoughts mentally can be projected onto the kids. And so just as we talk about these officers and how they feel mentally and how what their beliefs are can be projected onto people they don't like, which are usually Black people, target practice child. But anywho, I don't like this. And I don't like this. And I'll say this because, and this is, I don't care. This is the Black woman, a Black teacher who was making these statements. I don't care, again, whatever color she was, all teachers can get it. This right here is unreasonable. I don't know. Maybe that's how you feel about your kid. Okay, that's one way. If you have a child and you don't want your child to be acting, and when they say bitchy, I'm assuming it's it's in relation to being girly, what society calls girly. And so if you don't want your child being that way, that's you. That's how you feel. But to put that on your social media and label it as bitchy or whatever the case may be is ridiculous. You're saying you look at your students and then you're condemning the parents. As a substitute teacher, you ain't even a teacher. Now, moving forward, you are, and then you continue on with other comments about children.
I was just about to say, third day of school, and I made another kid cry. These fifth graders never had a teacher from the hood. I see. I won't be spoken to any kind of way. I will gather a child quickly and respectfully and still bring them tears.
And she should be removed. Not only should she should be removed, she shouldn't, and excuse my camera, but not only should she be removed, she should also be, there's an investigation that should happen into what students, what classes, who she has been around, who she has hurt. This can affect not only the school's reputation,
it will affect the child's mental health.
Yes.
It will really affect the child's mental health, because I know, dealing with my sister, dealt with an issue with my niece in elementary school, where she was being bullied, and of course it was a predominantly white elementary school. So when she talked about my niece being bullied, they did nothing about it. They were like, "Oh, they're just kids, they're just playing." No, I want my goddamn child to be focusing on attention. If she says she's being bullied, then something needs to be done about it. To me, this chick is part of the problem. You're saying that it's okay for these kids to be bullied. Do you know how many kids, especially goddamn fifth graders, are committing suicide these days because of shit like this? And you're saying that they never had a teacher from the hood before. F all that. You just need to be effing fired. Get the hell on somewhere. I don't want you nowhere around my damn kids. Because if you're doing all this, how I don't know that you're not abusing them, hitting them, or doing something else in that classroom?
Yeah. And here we go. A few people in the chat. Steffi B says, my white son's best friend in first grade was Black. 25 years ago, teacher told me to keep my son away from him as he was bad news. I refused. That teacher thought the teacher was racist, and the kid became a class valedictorian. Here's the thing. Even there are teachers who are out there. I have a nephew. All my nephews have different personalities. I have one nephew that is particularly hype. He's just a hyper one. Shout out to Eli. He's very hyper. And I know that in those cases, they would say he has ADHD, he has something or whatever. They automatically do that, right? And it's teachers that really just look at his behavior and just associate it with that and have things to say instead of, looking at the boy's just an excited little kid. Ain't nothing ADHD about that. I'll take it a bit further. My little brother, who was his birthday, Jonas, he had behavioral issues in school, but it was because the teachers already assumed him to be bad. They assumed him to be that way, and they treated him as such. So because the teachers treated him that way, I would see some of them and they'd be like, why your little brother so bad? Why your little brother so bad? And he reacts to how you treat him on site. If you treat him in a certain kind of way, he's going to react that way. And the teachers have to understand, when getting this job, this is why they should get paid better. When getting these jobs, substitute or not, when you're around children, you have to, there's a way that you have to be. Your feelings come last. Okay. You're dealing with kids every day, children, some of them that may not be reprimanded in the way that you would like. They're in school. This is going to be a learning thing. Have a conversation with the parent. Don't just automatically put the kid in detention or put them outside of the classroom without talking to them as to what they did wrong. Don't just assume that the kid is bad. One of the teachers asked me, is he getting any help at home? This boy is fed, taken care of at home, all kinds of things. What are you guys doing in the classroom for him, you know, and about him? They also, because we spoke Creole, took us all of us into what is it called, Esau, because of what they felt. There was, you know, there a lot of these, and that's why we need teachers to be able to protect our children, and if there's anything wrong, be able to communicate with the parents, and we need to vet who the teachers are, because a lot of times these teachers have a lot of nasty things to say. I had a Jamaican teacher who asked me why my house is looking like it's the Caribbean over there, because my dad was redoing my house and you could see it from the backyard. Why your house is over there looking like the Caribbean? Y'all don't really, it looks poor. These are the things that this teacher was saying to me. Before Twitter, she was saying it directly to me. So these are things that are affecting our kids every day. I don't like a teacher that isn't even a teacher yet being in charge of you know, my kids, and then in her space of social media having these conversations and saying that this kid is warranted a bullying. No ma'am, get her out of there, investigate, move on. And this is why we should be vetting who is teaching our kids, period, point blank. I don't care about the skin color.
Yeah, because that's damn ridiculous. It's 10 o'clock, so
yeah, we got to get out of here
soon. But if you have the after party, there's a video that shows what happened to this teacher and what happens when, you know, you just have to stick around for the after party. That's all I can say, because
no, my little brother's in the chat talking about he watching and sleeping at the same time. Oh my goodness. Get out of here, Joey. Now, everybody who's been watching with us, thank you for rocking with us. You already know what to do. Patreon.com/like it or not. If you want to become a Patreon, and again, it could be whatever you feel in your heart to give. It's monthly. It could be 50 cents, $1, whatever is on your heart to give, and help us stay on air and continuing to be able to do this for you guys. Not every morning, but majority of the week. Monday, Tuesday through Thursday, and on the weekend for the Patreon parties. And you'll get access to our after party where we could just kick it, talk mess, and have a good time before we send you off for your day. So again, patreon.com/like it or not. Go ahead and go like, share, and subscribe this video right now. Like, share, and have your aunties, grandmas, cousins, little brothers, little sisters, side chicks, him, hers, theys, all of them. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to this video right now to our channel.
And if you feel so inclined to give immediately versus monthly, then you can by going to Becca's Voice on Cash App or DJ X3C.
Yep, that's Becca's Voice or DJ X3C on Cash App. I love you guys so much. Mean it. I will see y'all at the after party.
Let me give y'all your affirmations for today and get you on your way. I will use any failure as a chance to learn. I will use any failure as a chance to learn. It's hump day today, y'all. Y'all go do something good for yourself, man. Be great, be excellent, be all of that good stuff, man. And if anything, if we don't see you at the after party, we will see y'all tomorrow. This is after party. Here we go.
Baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like the man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can. Daily, baddest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow. Yeah, you know me, baby. Won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get low.